Thank you everyone for joining. And if possible, please do keep your videos on so that it looks more interactive. We can see each other during the meeting. So if it's convenient, please keep your videos on all through the meeting. And just to remind as to why we have these meetings is to come together and to challenge each other, to grow our businesses, to keep looking at what challenges we are going through and learn new aspects of growing our business and keep growing our business. So that's the reason why we conduct these short 30-minute meetings every week. And we tackle the pathfinder stage of business. That is someone who's already launched their business, who's already set up the basics of their business, but now who is looking at growing their business. They're trying to take a path towards growth. That's the area which we are focusing on. That's the business owners who are going to take the most out of these meetings. And about me, I started my business around 13 years back. I run a software company called Rejola. And this BGSM started around 5 years back when three friends got together and we started asking questions with each other and getting them answered. It was during a trek that we had taken together, and that experience led to this, entire the creation of this concept of getting together regularly, asking questions and getting answers. And and it helps, when we keep asking questions and learning new topics, so it keeps helping us to grow our business. So that's how it all started. And we have a community called bacommunity.me. You can go there and you can register yourself. You can search for other members who have registered. You can create your own private link. I'll tell about more details on this in the coming months. And we also have a tool called bgsm.rejola.com where you can actually set goals and track your goals. You can see whether you're actually making progress with your goals or not. And today, again, we are focusing with the individual, the business owner. And we have a WhatsApp group where you can share about your business, ask questions. So if you're not part of a WhatsApp group, which is an open group, please let me know. I'll add you into that if you're in an admin-only group. And today we have Lisa Petrocchi from US. She is Associate Program Leader, Mark Kamin and Associates. A little introduction about her. She's done her master's degree from Pacifica Graduate Institute, California, place of residence in Portland, Oregon, and Silicon Valley, California. Passion, spending time with family, studying the effects of trauma and neuroscience of high performance in professional and personal life. Let me just mute if anyone. Yeah, and hobbies are gardening, running, and spending time traveling with a family. Experience is psychotherapist of 25 years, specializing in neuroscience of post-traumatic growth recovery therapy, working with children and adults. Founded Workswell Consulting and Training, 7 years, diversity and inclusion curriculum development and neuroscience of self-care, Harvard University, Warner Brothers, Discovery. I'm assuming that's Discovery Channel. Am I correct?
Yes, they merged together last year.
Oh, okay. Mark Kamin and Associates, 1 year, executive development coach and business consultant. So I was talking to her, and I felt that she can definitely add value to business owners, and I requested her, can you please give a short message to all of us, and it might really help us. And she said, yes, I'll definitely do that. So that's how I have her now speaking to us. So let me load your presentation. Yeah.
Great.
So over to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. It's a lovely introduction. And yes, Thomas and I started a conversation on BNI. I'm also a BNI member. Excuse me, I have a cold. And I found that, Thomas, you have a really great community of business professionals that you've put together to help each other grow their business. And I was very inspired by that. And when you asked me to come and speak, I said, yes, of course. So, excuse me. So as you know, a little bit about me. Let's see, do I want to switch to the next slide? Yes, what we focus on at Mark Kamin and Associates, next slide, please, is that we're experts in elevating your personal performance. And what I mean by that is that as business owners, whether we are solopreneurs or we have a company where we manage teams of people, we are going to be consumed by the growth of our business and the results we produce. We also want to make sure we can earn as much revenue as possible. So we support entrepreneurs and business owners in this effort. And the way we do that is we actually help people elevate their awareness about their personal and professional performance by balancing all of those pieces. So raise your hand if you have ever felt like I'm very much committed to the growth of my business, and I still struggle with trying to maintain some balance in my life, in my mental health, or in my family. A lot of people tell me that they work, they're burning the candle at both ends. They work long hours. They're constantly marketing. They're doing everything they can to make the money they want to make. Raise your hand if that is also you. Okay. Do we have other hands up? I can't see. I just see one person. And then some people are off camera. Okay. Great. Okay. Well, thank you. So you might also find that your company has plateaued and you're not earning and growing in the ways that you would like to see your business grow. So I wanted to include this slide. These are some of our American and European companies that we've done business with in our 41 years of operation. So today we're going to talk about, okay, next slide. Thank you. Creating the conditions to foster high performance. So how do we do that exactly? How do we balance everything? Because to have high performance means that you have to be able to balance not just what's happening in your work life and in your professional life, but also in the rest of your life. How are you taking care of your body, your well-being, your mental health? And when you have that imbalance, you can come into high performance, which means you're resilient and you can overcome obstacles because you're creative enough still to see opportunities you might not have seen before and have an advantage that your competitors don't have. So how does this work, you might ask? Well, imagine that each of us swims around in our own atmosphere made of experiences that shape our context of how we see the world and how we understand our world and how we react to it. That's the key right there, because that gives us energy or takes away our energy. It's so much a part of us that we don't realize it's there. It's much like the goldfish swimming around in water who would say, water, what is water? I don't know. What the heck are you talking about? Same thing about how we come to know ourselves, our thought about ourselves, our identity, whether we think we're successful or not. Those are all things we don't even stop to think about. It's so much a part of us. But what does this have to do with our performance, our business performance? Excuse me. Well, how we create our barriers to our performance and having our businesses really grow more is by not taking care of the environments that we are in, including our work environment, our physical, mental, emotional selves. And at the end of the day, what our fish bowls actually really look like is this clouded, messy thing. We go about our day, we have our appointments, and we have our intentions for the day. We are well-meaning, we want fulfillment. We've created a business to have a committed, well-meaning, like a fulfilling business and life that we want. And this is done with our hard work. We have vision about it. We redo our vision. We're constantly reiterating our plan. But we're also fueled with our passion, which can sometimes bring up self-doubt or excuses that we make. We end up complaining about things that are working or not working. We also encounter edging toward burnout or falling into burnout. And then we also see that sometimes we feel disorganized and we can't catch up, and we're telling ourselves all the reasons why we're not achieving what we want to achieve. Raise your hand if any of this is familiar for you. Does anybody struggle with self-doubt at times? Thomas, me too. Yes, okay. Dr. Sun Lee, anyone else ever struggle with self-doubt? You feel like your vision needs to be recalibrated. You're not getting the results you want. Does anybody ever have that happen to them? You try something new with your marketing. Okay, thank you. I can see more hands now. Okay, great. Okay. So I would love to see in the chat, or you can come off mute to tell me what are some of those things that keep you up at night about your business. Anyone want to volunteer that?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's like for me, it is about the consistency of the business because sometimes we are like flooded with so many projects. Sometimes we are completely drought. So it is not, it is very inconsistent. We are trying to formalize it properly. And because of this inconsistency, even the funds become very inconsistent. So it actually makes it very difficult to earn kind of funding that.
Right. So please tell me if I'm tell me how to pronounce your name.
Just call me L. That should be better.
Swami Yel.
You call me L. That should be okay.
Oh, I'll
Because
just call you L.
Americans find it difficult to pronounce me, so I make
Oh,
your life easier. Just call me L.
okay. Okay, Elle, thank you so much for your contribution. So what I'm hearing you say is that in your business, which you're very committed to, I can hear, what keeps you up at night is the flooding of projects that you get. So you're very productive, you have customers, and then you find you have so many new projects to juggle and who's working on them and what kind of quality results are you providing to your customers. So you are thinking about those things all the time. Is that accurate?
Something similar to yeah.
Okay, great.
Sometimes more projects come in, sometimes completely nothing is coming up. So you're like very up, sometimes very low. So it's actually very inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent, right? And that keeps us off balance. I mean, our human brain wiring wants consistency, repetition, things that are nice and neat and organized. And then when we have unpredictable things and an unpredictable workload come up, it can really take its toll on us because we have to work extra hard to make sure things are in balance. So thank you for that. Does anyone else have an example they want to add? Something that keeps them up, something that is clouding their thinking.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sajjan.
Yes.
Uh, things don't keep me up at night. I sleep well, but during the day, I am worried about many things because I'm new into this business that I'm doing. So there are a lot of things to do at a time. So in terms, primarily getting, off the runway and taking flight. So that is where it is like keeping me up all day, I would say, not night. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So thank you, Asaj. Did I say your name correctly?
Yeah, you can call me Saj. Yeah, thanks.
I'm sorry, how do you pronounce it?
My short name is Saj. Otherwise, you can call me Sajjan. That is
Okay,
again
Sajan.
difficult. So,
Thank you, Sajan, for your contribution. Right. So what I'm hearing you say is that you sleep well, but during the day, you are very much consumed with making sure that everything gets done. And this takes up your enormous amount of energy, which you have, and yet it doesn't sound like there's room for anything else on your plate. So maybe you have a little bit of worry to make sure that everything gets completed. Is that accurate?
yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yes.
that everyone's doing their job and doing it well. Okay, makes sense. So what ends up happening for most of us is that at various points we go into threat response. We are worried. We care about our businesses. We want to keep going. We want our businesses to be strong, get customers, keep customers, and have a great reputation. So that can sometimes kick us into anxiety or worry. When that happens, it's very common to have thoughts like self-doubt come up, second guessing yourself. You might find yourself complaining about a situation or about the economy. All of that makes sense, and you're not doing it wrong. This is just the way the brain works. And this is the way it's worked for, hundreds of thousands of years. And that is the primal part of our brain is still there, and it's hardwired to take over when we feel a little bit of stress or various parts of like a stressful situation. It takes over for us and puts us in fight flight. When that happens, it's difficult for us to have that nice, all of our training and tools and our wisdom and our business savvy is in our neocortex, which is at the front part of the brain, or the front part of that goldfish right there. And that is the part that keeps us calm and keeps us on track, but that literally goes offline when stress comes up. So this costs us too much time. We're in threat response with adrenaline coming through our body, and we're go, 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 but we are leaving out other things to make sure we meet our results, or we're finding that we just can't get to our results. Either way, we are stuck in an adrenaline zone, if you will, or threat response, fight, flight, for anywhere from 20 minutes to up to 3 weeks sometimes. When that subsides, we finally come back down to our regular way we encounter the world, and we have our full neocortex back online. And then we're our fabulous, savvy business person where we get the results we want, but we've lost time. So, excuse me, just think for yourself right now, when is the last time in the last 24 hours you might have had a negative thought about your business or something going on in your business, or maybe one of your employees, or something a customer said to you? Raise your virtual hand. And sometimes we don't even realize we've gone into a negative thought. Raise your hand if you realize you've had a negative thought about somebody in your business or a situation about your business. And that negative thought might mean, oh, that customer always pays their bill late. I always have to track them down. Some sort of complaint. Has anyone had a complaint about their business? Yeah. And you can raise your virtual hand as well.
Yeah.
I see. Yes, please volunteer.
The negative thought is all the time, I would say. The mind goes around and around, talks whether this will go right, this will go wrong. This is there all the time. I wouldn't say last 24 hours. Most of the time, our mind is hardwire, whatever you say. But we counter it with engaging ourselves with something new or some new ideas. So this is what hampering our growth also. But somehow we are managing, I would say. But it is there all the time, not 24 hours. It is there for 24 hours, I would say.
Right. Excuse me. Right. It's harder to unplug from your brain than most people like to admit. So I love what you just said, that you're talking to yourself. You realize you're talking to yourself all the time throughout the day, positive and or maybe not positive things, correct? And it's ongoing constantly. Is that right? Yes. I would say that you have an awareness a lot of us don't have, and you're absolutely right. We are constantly talking with ourselves, and it can become exhausting, quite frankly. And so this is one of the things that we help business owners do, is be able to learn the ways of recognizing it, and then learn how to manage it. But what most of us do is we think, well, we're going to look for new information. We're going to find some new way of doing it. We're going to maybe get another certification. We're going to hire another employee. We're going to put more emphasis in marketing or whatever it happens to be. But that is not going to sustain the results we want to achieve. And it's not going to really bridge us to get there in a substantial way. So what we do, we'll work with leaders and organizations to identify the source of the toxins, if you will, that are in the water and train people how to stop adding toxins back into the water, which, as Salavartham has said so well, it is an ongoing way our brain is wired to interact in the world. And so we also train people how to not add toxins back into the water. So just reflect for a moment and see what toxins you think are in the water for yourself. And I'd love to see answers in the chat. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So with the toxins, just think it's like adding ink to your water in the fishbowl. And we add our own toxins to our fishbowl with our own thinking. Something comes up, whether it's, oh, gee, I really need to reorder, or I need to add another piece of software, or wow, I really love my neighbor's vehicle. I wish I had that. I wish I lived in that neighborhood. Any of those things can knock us off our path to being focused during the day and balanced. So any of those thoughts that come up, start to add to the fishbowl. I was talking with one of my clients the other day who is an HR director and owns her own HR boutique firm. So they do fractional HR. And she said, I have a client who's a business owner and someone on her team is gossiping. This person is a high performer, but this person is bringing the corporate culture down and ruining morale. And so the business owner is just sick to her stomach thinking about it. So she's adding her own ink to the water, and we help people disconnect from that so that they can figure out options on how to manage the new situation that just came up instead of ruminating on how destructive or how betrayed she feels, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
So
Lisa, we'll have to conclude now. So we have 5 more minutes left.
okay, thank you. So to clear our water, we end up working on the wrong things is what I'm getting at. So none of our efforts really pay off. But this is creating an environment, next slide, please. Creating an environment that elevates performance is our specialty. We help you remove the toxic elements from your fishbowl, and then we train you how to stop adding it to your fishbowl so you can become high-performing leader in your company and in your life. And when you have clean water, if you will, you have the ability to operate fully with a fully conscious, focused mind. That means you can innovate from here. You can be agile and you can be resilient no matter what the stressors are in your life, in your emotional life, with your family, or even with the economy. Because I'm coaching many of my clients who are affected by what's happening in their family, and it's difficult sometimes for them to turn it off during the day. They find themselves worrying, then their plate is, they just have too much going on. This again takes us out of high performance. So we coach people into becoming, if you will, like high performance Olympic athletes, but within their business. So I'm going to guess that most of you probably started your business to create a job that has purpose and meaning in your life. So raise your virtual hand if that's true for you. And I'm just going to review a couple of high performance elements that we train people in that you would need to have in your fishbowl to keep it clear. And that is a future fulfilled And so remember, when you started your business, you saw a future for yourself and created a plan to achieve your vision. And when toxins are in your water, you can't see your vision and how it's going to work out in your future. Next, we train people in integrity. How many incomplete tasks do you actually have in your business right now? And then the next one is meaning. You created a business or a service that adds meaning to your life, and creating specific business because it allows you to spend time with your family or friends. And while running a business, you believe that it adds value to other people who are your customers. And with our coaching programs, you'll have these high performance elements in your fishbowl. Okay, next slide. I have just a testimonial that somebody's talking about how our coaching was very much of huge value and transformed their life. I'm going to jump to the last slide now, Thomas. Thank you. And then do we have a few minutes for questions? Anybody have any questions for me?
Hey Lisa, I would like to take this opportunity to ask you one simple question.
Sure.
Is how should we come out with a thought? I think, and it's common for all the business owners over here. What are we missing out? That's the question which keeps running in our mind every day. I think Soumya and Saj also say the same thing. But as a new business owner, or like we all are like trailblazers right now, we really don't know what are we missing out. So how we should come out with that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dinesh. Thank you for your contribution. Well, what's interesting, you bring up this point, like what should we be thinking about, or what can we do to make sure we're thinking about everything? And what we address is the blind spots that we end up having. We're human beings. We can't see everything 360 degrees. But when we, in our coaching, help each person identify their blind spot and dismantle that so they can see where their strengths are, where their strengths stop, and then where their weaknesses plague them and get them to not be successful. So I would say then what we're all missing is not having insight into our blind spot. And then also how to keep our personal and professional integrity in place as often as humanly possible. We're pretty casual about our integrity. We are well-intended, but when stress comes up and we go into threat response, our integrity easily goes right out the window. So we teach people how to disconnect from that mechanism so that they can choose to have integrity as often as they're consciously aware. Does that answer your question?
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So one thing that really caught my attention, even the first time I spoke to you was that coaching that top athletes have to, with which they can stay at their top performance. This BGSM meetings are basically where we share, we give the entire solution. But in your case, I can see that you actually introduced you identified the problem, the challenge that we face, and the need for coaching. Okay, and I understand that you, with I think now 3 decades of experience from your introduction, I could understand, right? You've got that many years of experience in psychotherapy and trauma, helping people through trauma and all that. But if you can give us one daily activity that each one of us can do, maybe reveal a little bit that, okay, I think this is something that you should do every day which can help you, increase your performance and make you a top athlete as an entrepreneur? One tip.
Okay, great. And I think maybe this is what Dinesh was also looking for. Is that accurate? Okay.
Yeah, we need that. Yes, we need that guru mantra. What should we keep as active? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, great question. Thank you, Thomas. Yes. So what I would recommend, and first of all, I want to say what we do at Mark Kamen and Associates is not therapy at all. Not at all. And so it's a shift in your thinking and your consciousness, and it's also experiential. So what I would suggest is that when you start your day, you can pick however many goals you want. So I know you have your to-do list, but I want you to think about it with a new refreshed consciousness. Just pick maybe 3 things that are really important that are going to help you improve your business, just 1 or 2 a day. And it can be in the background. It doesn't mean you have to achieve it. But so for instance, for me, I maintain every day I refocus that I'm going to be, or I am a coach who brings value to my clients, and that I listen to them with excellence. And then, like the high performance athlete, I don't let anything interrupt me, right? So, for example, a thought I might have like, oh, geez, oh no, I don't know if I communicated that well enough to my client. And in the past, I would spiral down like, uh-oh, that person didn't take it right, or I'm worried about their feeling state. Now what I do is I take myself back to my focus and I say, I bring value to my clients. I listen to my clients, and I don't spend time in self-doubt. I don't know if that helps, but with the high performance athlete, as soon as another thought comes in, the thought that is anything other than I'm going to take 2 seconds off my time, right? Or I'm going to jump the high bar. Anything that interrupts them, like the crowd is too loud, or I'm cold, the weather's too cold, actually shifts their focus and they don't meet the results. It's not possible. So to have that laser focus is something that you get to consciously create every day. Another thing I do, now, Dinesh, you mentioned a mantra, so you can make that up however you want. But during my day when I'm making phone calls or putting out proposals or training and leading, I kind of have that mantra in my background. I'm a high performance coach. I bring value. I listen exquisitely. But what I also want to recommend that I find valuable is finding time at least for 3 minutes a day. If you can sacrifice 3 minutes to meditate and change your breathing, or just be aware of your breathing, because that gets you out of threat response as well. So
may I add, sorry.
Oh,
may I
yes.
add something? What
Yeah,
Lisa
one moment, sir. We have 2 minutes, so you can ask the question, and Lisa, you can answer. But I think the meeting will abruptly end, so please go ahead. Yeah.
No,
Thank you, Lisa.
I-
By the way, before you ask, sir, I want to thank Lisa for coming and presenting. And in the group, you're already in the group. By the way, I'll thank you there also. Yeah, sir, go ahead. We have less than 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm not going to ask a question. I'm only going to share my experience. Keep your routines. That is like he said, meditation or walking or jogging in the morning hours. If you fully plunge yourself with these routines, all other things will take the second seat. So the getting worried for the day will disappear in the morning, and you start afresh. That is what I want to add with the Lisa's saying meditation. It's a routine. If you follow the routines, I think it will give you energy. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that. I agree. And the more you practice it, the stronger your neural net pathways become as well. But one thing is that do it in the morning, but do it every time you notice that you are beginning to have stress. You don't have to get up and take a walk, but you can definitely be responsive to it by slowing yourself down and becoming just recalibrating again. Thank you, everyone, for this time to share with you. And I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. You have my information. And if you could put up the scan code again, if people would like to have a complimentary 30-minute conversation, I would love to talk with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks a lot. Very insightful.
Thank you, Shapala.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lisa. And it's been a wonderful session. Thank you very much. Yeah.
My pleasure. Wish we had
Thank
more
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Lisa.